Alright, so you want to pick up a character, but you don't know if it should be a character that matches your style, you know, so you look at some of these charts. You don't know if it's cool that you just play Shulk because you like Xenoblade, or you're a Zelda fan, so you want to pick one of the 13 Links or a Zelda. Or, you know, I don't want to waste my time, so I'm going to look at my favorite players' tier list and pick a top tier. Now, as cliche as it sounds, I'm going to tell you why picking the character that will just give you the most fun, that will make you play the game the most, is way more important than picking a top tier. I know it sounds cliche, but stick with me. I'm going to give you my examples of why, and I'm going to show you 3 of the best players in the world that I think kind of followed suit and how they ended up. If you ever tried to get good at a team game like League or Overwatch, or a card game like Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh, you know, whatever you're into, you would notice that good players will always tell you that you need to focus on yourself. These RNG aspects of teams and cards, they don't matter to you. Your goal is to focus on yourself. This recent tweet Samsara put out, he talks about how he actually prefers fighting games over games like League because he doesn't like that there are these external factors that can cause a loss. If he loses, he wants the only issue to be him so he can improve on himself. This is the exact mentality you need to get good at any game. You need to focus on the decisions you make, focus on yourself. And despite Samsara finding team games frustrating, he's clearly still good at improving at them, as he's currently in the top 0.6% of all League players, and he actually peaked higher in previous seasons. So why am I bringing this up in a video about characters? Well, I think in a lot of these 1v1 games, people use characters for these same excuses. You'll always hear people blaming that their character is not good enough, that the matchups suck, the other character is bullshit, all this. The important thing about getting good at any game is getting good at the game itself, not a single character, not playing the top tiers. You pick, when you're trying to get good, you pick the character that will let you play the game the most, right? The one that you have the most fun with, that you just love grinding the game with, so that you can get so good at the game and so good at the fundamentals that you can just transfer it to the better characters if you ever want to get to the very top. You might ask, is it not more worth it to just pick the top tier now instead of wasting time with the worst character and then switching later? And I don't think that's true. I had this conversation with a friend a while back, and I was on the side that believes you need to play the character that will let you focus on yourself. As I said, focus on the fundamentals, stick with one character so you can learn the game at its highest level. Playing a character that will just let you focus on yourself might actually save you time. There's just no time for excuses, just get better, right? Learn to improve your decisions, learn to improve your fundamentals. If you enjoy playing a top tier, that's fine, but playing one for the sake of it might actually hinder your growth a bit. You might get frustrated losing to characters that are supposed to be worse. Maybe your character is so good at certain things that you have holes in your game you don't even realize because your character covers it up. For this reason, I think it's better to just start with what you like, learn the game that way, and luckily, I have 3 great examples of players that I think do this, and they just so happen to be the 3 best players in Ultimate right now. So let's take a look at Leo, Tweak, and Samsora's past. Starting with Samsora here, so we rewind all the way back to Brawl, game over a decade old. Who's he playing? Princess Peach. Is Peach considered a top tier in this game? She's not garbage, but she's not a good character, right? Fast forward to Smash 4. Is Peach considered a top tier? Again, not the worst character, pretty good, not a top tier, especially once, you know, Cloud and Bayo show up. He clearly just enjoys Peach for Peach as a character, which helps him focus on himself. He doesn't worry about if he should play a better character, he focuses on Peach and himself. He learns so much about the game. Here comes Ultimate, Peach is a great character now, and what do you know? He's one of the best players in the world. You can argue that he got lucky because Peach is just such a good character in Ultimate, but I don't think that's true. Even in Smash 4, he was showing that he was going to become a top 10 player, and Peach was nowhere near the top. He learned to be good, and now that his character is also good, he's an amazing player overall. Samsora is a unique example because he stuck to one character and now that character is really good, but it still shows that focusing on the one character throughout multiple different games has improved himself as a player, and it's rewarded him. So let's move on to a different example in Tweak. When he first came on the scene on the big streams, he was a Bowser Jr. player and he was good. Bowser Jr. though, he was a dog shit character. But Tweak himself was a good player because he grinded the game, he didn't care about his tier list at the start, he just wanted to get good, and he clearly learned so much about the game playing such a bad character. But by the end of his career in Smash 4, he didn't play Bowser Jr. at all. Look at the new characters he's picked up. He ends up switching to top tiers, but it's after he's already got such a good grasp of the game, the fundamentals, that he can just transition into these newer characters. We fast forward to Ultimate, he's got a warrior, a wolf, I don't know why I said warrior, I meant Wario, and he picks up a new character every week, right? Like, he's just so good at the game, the fundamentals, that he can now transition these skills into better characters. Would you say it's a waste of time that he played Bowser Jr.? There's no way, right? Like, he just got so good by playing the character he enjoyed to start, and then when he wanted to become top of the top, he switched. Look at his first PGR for Ultimate. Are these 3 players just like gods of all these characters? They all had 4 or more. No, they're just so good at the game that they can transition their skills. The focus here, I'm going to drive it home, is to get good at the game first. Don't worry about the character. Focus on yourself. So finally, let's talk about MKLeo. When he first got on the scene, was he using, Cloud that we know him for, the Joker that we know him for, these top tiers? No, he started with Meta Knight, and when he beat Mr. R, that was kind of like his first big break. Was Meta Knight a bad character? No, but he was not like your Sheik Diddy's or the Clouds that we see later, right? He's clearly a character that Leo probably just found fun. Like Marth. Remember when Leo pulled out the Marth in Smash 4? A lot of people thought that character wasn't that great, but he made him look better, and it brought him to the top, right? And he eventually switched to Bayo and Cloud as well, playing the higher top tier characters. But that's after he's already got so good at the game itself, probably because he just enjoyed it, right? He just got so good playing the game that he can now transition into better characters. And Leo looks like he holds his philosophy to this day, right? When Ultimate started, he's playing Ike. Did people think Ike was good? Yeah, probably because of him, but he's clearly not that good of a character, but Leo made him look good. We see Leo's Marth at Summit, and yeah, it was kind of for fun, but it's still so good at the character, right? It was like very fun to watch. And then even when Joker comes out, right? We know him now as like the evil champ. Joker's a top tier. But if you remember when Leo first picked up Joker, a lot of people weren't sold. They thought he was okay, maybe upper mid tier, whatever. Like you can find all these threads about top players. This tier list is showing top player average, where Joker was the bottom of B tier, not even a top 20 character. And this was after Leo already placed, I think, 4th at Gommel, and he won Momocon. People still weren't just sold on Joker as a character, but I'm sure Leo found him fun. He sticks with it, and look at him now. Best Joker player ever, best Ultimate player ever. And that's pretty much it. If you watch Naruto's stream, you see him doing Iron Mans with all these characters that he probably never even played once, and he's beating like elite smashers who you probably think are close to your level. It's not because he's just a god with all these characters. He played the game so much, he had fun with the game, that his fundamentals are so good, he can now play new characters. So I hope I kind of drove that into you guys. I hope that I've kind of taught you guys that sometimes it's not the character's fault, you just need to improve on yourself. There's so much to learn in these games. Even Leo is getting better from day to day, from tournament to tournament, so of course we can get better too. It's not the character's fault. Focus on what's important, and that is your own decisions. If your friend tells you need to pick a better character, unless you're like top 10 trying to beat Leo, chances are there's still a lot more you can do with the current character. Have fun with the game, have fun with improving yourself, and that's it. See you guys next time.